Hello, my name is Daniel, the naturopath. I want to talk to you today about vitamin K2, MK4, or Activator X, or Vitamin X, it has many different names. Um, First thing you should know is it's one of the most important vitamins that we have. A lot of people, it's been a hidden feature and people are just finding out about it, but it's the most essential of all of them because it's kind of like the, 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 the Christ principle in vitamin form. It brings about all the activity. It organizes the mineral and vitamin actions. It's kind of like um, an organizing principle, and it also helps balance out some certain antagonisms between different vitamins. Like for example, vitamin A and vitamin D. If you have too much of one without the other, and you can have these antagonisms start to kick in, and you actually end up reversing certain things, or you end up, being in a limiting factor of going forward. And so, vitamin K2, the real K2, not the synthetic K2, or the one that when we talk about vitamin K1 for when you're a baby and they give you this shot or whatever for blood circulation, whatever. So this is a totally different thing, and when this vitamin is well understood, it allows vitamin A and D to kind of like calm down, like their whatever disparity they have is now soothed, and so it comes in and soothes all of these disparities between vitamins and minerals. It's a really powerful activator of everything. It allows for the assimilation of everything. Weston Price even went into that cultures that had high amount of this vitamin in their foodways were gentler and kinder people, and had more abundance and more happiness, which is and then also it contributes to the facial structure. So I'll tell you an interesting history about this discovery. One of the most concentrated forms of vitamin K2 is found in foie gras, which is French duck liver, fattened duck liver or whatever. So they picked this up from the Phoenicians, well, the Egyptians originally, and the Egyptians, if you look at them, amongst the Arab cultures, the Egyptians have been known for this kind of like very beautiful face structure, jaw lines, etc. If you go to Japan, they have a food called natto, which is a vitamin K2 precursor on a vegetable world, so it could be open to vegetarians, which is great. And it's a fermented like soybean, non-genetic soybean that's been highly fermented, very sticky, very stringy kind of bacteria that comes off of it, and this is what they eat. It smells, but it actually produces this precursor. So now if you look at the Japanese amongst other Asian cultures, you also see this facial structure. You see the jaw lines, you see a kind of like a certain type of beauty come through. And there is some truth to that. Now it's the same with the French. The French are the biggest consumer of foie gras in the world today, probably, along with the Jewish people. And there's different, Jewish people and foie gras is very synonymous. Um, but So the French, if you look at their facial structures compared to other Europeans, and some of these things, of course, are changing now, so we're losing a lot of this abundance. But if you look historically, there has been this being known for a certain type of beauty, a certain type of facial, expression, and so this is coming through, in my opinion, through the vitamin K2, which was already talked about before. Now, of course, modern day, has toxins and stress and thousands of modern day parameters have kind of reversed a lot of these things, and even losing our traditions as well. But you start to see these like foie gras farms popping up all over America now in different countries. And what are they? What's this all about? Well, it's about the vitamin. If you don't have it, you have to find it, and this is the only place to find it now. I mean, it used to be in like butters and micro terrestrial animals, like krill, and there was other areas that you could find this concentration. But with the processing techniques, the way that we, kind of like machine everything, we've lost a lot of this power. I know that they find it in emu oil. That's another famous source for it, which can be, taken as a supplement. but it's all about how they process it and how they get it back down to you. I mean, if you're sitting there eating the part of the emu that has this fat in it live, and then you're able to retain that, that's totally different than what comes to you. It gets down to you by the time it gets there. So vitamin K2 is very powerful for healing, for allowing the body to have a very high level of cholesterol. Like a lot of women that have trouble with fertility, a lot of this is also coming from, the lack. I'm going to write that down because I think I'm going to need that for later. But the lack of the fertility is coming from a lack of quality. The cholesterol has a lack of quality. It's a type of cholesterol is positive. I don't see it as negative like everybody, on TV or whatever. So, but the quality of the cholesterol is key because it's the mother of all these sex hormones. Testosterone and estrogen and all of these hormones are coming out of cholesterol. And so these hormones need a master kind of, molecule which is high quality. And the highest quality you can get is through the foie gras, this type of cholesterol. I've actually seen this consumption of foie gras, even on a monthly basis or even on a tri-yearly, 4 times a year, seasonal kind of basis, can increase fertility abundantly. I've actually seen people that went from, having anorexic kind of like lack of mother syndrome, you can tell in the way their body is and by moving into a therapeutic approach to K2, they've been able to reverse all of that. So finding your way through this maze could be interesting. The Jews are really intelligent about how they distribute their foie gras. They use a goose liver and then they keep it half cooked and then they can it. So it looks like, a canned food normally, but it's a can that's always in the refrigerated section. And so it's kind of like they keep half of this stuff alive coming from goose, which is 10 times greater than the duck as far as the vitamin content. And then they also keep it half cooked, like pink on the inside. So, and then it travels. So, you can take it on the plane, but then you put it back in the fridge. You got like 24 hours, before you got to put it into some, refrigeration. So there's a lot of techniques that these cultures have had for centuries. I mean, if you go to any European Jewish festival, you'll see 2 items, at least like if you go to the bakeries or the places where they sell foods for Jewish festivals, they always have, in Europe, not in America, but in Europe, they always have butarga, which is fish eggs, fermented fish eggs, basically, in a little like wax pouch, which is equivalent of kind of like cod liver oil. A fermented cod liver oil that has the same taste in the mouth. It burns in the same way, and it's a fermented vitamin complex, high in selenium, like an active form of selenium, not just like some mineral form. And then they also have foie gras. These two are always together. Now, Weston Price discovered that when you combine K2 with cod liver oil, that you had like a multiplying effect. Well, this is the multiplying effect that history had already found for centuries, that contributing to Jewish fertility, contributing to why, this could even be why kosher foods were developed, was to keep this line being able to produce and with strength and high fertility. And so we're figuring out these mysteries now through science or whatever, but pay attention and use them. These are high density nutritional foods. They're remedies, and they work better than anything else. Like, I mean, I've tested all these types of things that you can use, from emu oil down to, and the cod liver oil. I mean, the foie gras goose liver, half cooked, like it's 10 times more powerful. And that's just because you're getting it as close to the animal as you can, in the same format, in the same way. It's not being extracted or heated or pulled out. Like it's in there. So, what is this whole mystery about the goose and the golden eggs? Well, maybe that's what it was. The foie gras. So anyway, pay attention if you want to overcome vitamin K deficiency. If you're a vegetarian, I would suggest making natto a permanent part of your life, and maybe some supplementation that's made through natto. If you are not a vegetarian, then or you don't like agree with foie gras or whatever, then there's ethical versions of foie gras you can find. You can also find the American foie gras as well, just in case if you're local. It's not as strong. They do use some soy and other things, sadly, but it does have power. It does have the vitamin to a certain degree. I've detected it. And it's a multiplier of libido as well. You can detect it right away. Feed just a little small piece of foie gras to your dog and watch what happens. You'll figure it out really quickly. You'll figure it out for yourself too. So all of these things are out there. We just have to learn how to reuse them and understand their value. So thank you for listening.